Well, hello there, my friends. I wanted to make sure to show you guys one of the most interesting campaigns here in AGEODS Civil War II, and that's going to be Sherman's March to the South. Or I should say Sherman's March through Georgia. This was actually called Making Georgia Howl. That was essentially Sherman's call to arms. He wanted to make Georgia howl. He wanted to show the enemy that no matter what happens, they're going to be seriously affected by breaking away from the Union. And actually Sherman, despite being probably one of the most vicious Union generals, I mean, this guy wanted to burn houses down, he wanted to kill people. He's actually one of my favorite generals ever. And I know that might sound like a terrible thing, but, you know, his role was to essentially preserve the Union. That's what he wanted to do. He wasn't actually very interested in slavery. A lot of people think that Sherman's mistakes were due to slavery, but in reality, Sherman just wanted to preserve the Union, and he wanted to make sure that the rebels paid for it. He wanted to make sure that they absolutely were destroyed by the economic damage to their nation, and that's exactly what he tried to do, guys. So right now we're actually splitting armies up, actually adding a ton here to Sherman. It's only a 14% penalty. I'm still going to go ahead and send some of these pioneer brigades over to the other general here, to Joseph Hooker. Hooker was another amazing general, and he can actually take more men. So let's send him one of these junior commanders, see how he deals with them. And maybe, just maybe, one of these supply trucks. So we've got 3 beautiful generals here, including Sherman, and he's still got a 14% penalty. So we're going to keep on keeping on, and by keep on keeping on, I mean we're going to keep dropping units into Sherman's battalion or away from Sherman's battalion. 11% penalty is not so bad. I'm going to give these guys some artillery, and we're going to go immediately for Floyd, Georgia. Now, Sherman is the head of this army. That's why this guy is flashing red. So we're going to take Sherman, guys. We're going to go on an all-out assault. It's that simple. I don't want my boys retreating. I want my boys taking Georgia no matter what. And right now I know that Johnston has a massive force at Walker, Georgia. So we're going to go south with this guy as well. Now, he's part of the army, so he probably can't join the fight at this rate, but eventually he can. Or we're going to take Kilpatrick, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to try and move around. And thankfully, being a U.S. citizen, as well as a Portuguese citizen, I know where Atlanta is, and it's right there. And for us to win this campaign, we must take Atlanta. Now, McPherson is a very interesting general. He's currently our major general for our Tennessee Army. McPherson actually was killed in battle. So if we can stop this guy from getting killed in battle, I'm going to be very happy. I'm also going to go for Atlanta, although I might stop by Floyd, Georgia here as well. Floyd, Georgia is where most of the Confederates are staying, thinking they're safe. A bunch of fools. I'll tell you what, they're just a bunch of fools. Glory to Lincoln. And of course, for you guys that support the Confederacy, don't hold it against me. I'm playing a role here. And I'm going to take Schofield's Corps, and I'm going to try and take the town of Newport. So we're going to go ahead and actually go on the offensive, and we're hoping this is all going to work out. Now, this is one of the many campaigns you can get in Civil War II, guys. This is the Civil War campaign, of course. So I'm going to be bringing one of our units here, and I'm going to bring the second one as well, Grierson. And really our goal is to take Atlanta. I will see if we can use some trains, some rail yards. I think we probably can with Grierson. There's not many men here. And we're going to do the move by rail movement. It's going to take them only 5 days, which is pretty great. We'll do the same with this guy. We're going to see if he can take only 5 days here. He certainly can't build any sort of defenses, so we're going to do that. And with this unit, the Huntsville Defense Force, we're going to go ahead and basically what we're going to do is we're just going to jump into Confederate territory and try to cause some havoc. Try to force them to focus on one line, when in reality they should be focusing on an entirely different line. I'm also going to drop habeas corpus. Now, habeas corpus is a really controversial thing. And what that means is essentially your constitutional privileges. For those of you that are not American, your constitutional privileges or your human rights are suspended so that you can undergo trial. Yeah, it's kind of a screw-up, but it is what it is. I'm also going to put some defensive fortifications here, just in case, in Hamilton, Tennessee. And I promise you the Tennesseans are not pro-union. In fact, we could take a look here at the support, and actually a lot of pro-union here. That's going to change, though, as we continue this campaign. We're going to be burning up the South, and a lot of these areas are very, very pro-Southern. So we're going to go ahead and try to attack and end the turn, guys. Let's hope for the best for good old General Sherman. I'm going to try to throw this entire campaign into one video. So if you enjoy the video, share it, subscribe, comment, take a look at a few other videos, watch some advertisements, help Old Agrippa out. Here we go, guys. Proceeding to the next turn. For Lincoln and Liberty. Alright, we got to fight with Johnston. He doesn't have as many men at us as we do, but we just lost the battle, killing 516 of his men and losing 1,248. Honestly, for a Civil War battle, it's a pretty small one, the Battle of Rome. We're going to keep on fighting. And just take a look at that manpower. 5,000. That's how much he's got. So 5 days. How long is it going to take him to get here? 15 days. I'm going to try to bring him over. These guys are still going where they're going. We're not going to stop their movement. And with the First Corps by Logan, we're going to move into Confederate territory. I'm going to go ahead and get back to just the regular view here so you guys can see what's going on in the Confederacy. And of course, what we're trying to do is break the back of the Confederacy pretty simply with victory. So I want to see if we have any sort of decisions we can make. But if we take Atlanta, we're going to be in a really good spot, guys. I want to also make sure that we're getting some reinforcements, although we don't really need them right now. I don't think so anyway. But we can afford them, so we'll get some elite infantry. We'll get some line infantry here as well. Get some light infantry as well. And of course, this is the march through Georgia. We want to do as much damage as possible. And let's end the turn. Hope for the best, boys. Here we go, man. That was actually quite amazing, because if you take a look here at good old Joseph B. Hooker, who's an amazing general, he's lost a lot of support here. So I'm definitely going to build a depot. I'm going to keep everything else as it is, and I'm going to be moving, of course, McPherson south. I'm also going to be doing the same with Kilpatrick, but actually I want to build a depot where Kilpatrick is, try to get some more supply riding in here, and we're not giving up with Sherman. We're going to stay right where we are. We should keep attacking, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make sure that I give an order for our men never, ever to retreat. Sorry, boys. Let's get back to the general, my goodness. Oh, come on. We're not in damn Colorado right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and just give him the order to always attack, never retreat if we can. He might be out of the actual loop here, but I'm going to take a look, so let's go ahead. Oh, come on. Full attack, no retreat. Keep it up, Sherman. You can do this, my friend. And we're bringing guys to support him. You know, we're actually bringing Joseph B. Hooker to support this guy. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to try to make it happen. Let's end the turn. Let's hope for the best, guys. Glory to the Union. I mean, we've got to break the Southern morale here. And this is actually, I believe, after Gettysburg, if I'm not mistaken. So these Confederates are beaten. I mean, they're going to fight. They know they're beaten. Here we go. Now we got 57,000. That's going to be a Union victory, guys. Beautiful. Look at that. 3,819 lost, 435 cavalry. Johnson only lost 2,496, but one great thing about being the Union, you've got numbers to throw around. You know, you have the ability to keep on fighting. Here we go, Johnson's still fighting. Another Union victory at the Battle of Rome, guys. Very even casualties there. It doesn't look like anybody took anybody prisoner. I'll take a look at the Union, or the Confederate side. No, that was just a straight-out battle. And believe me, those mini balls can do a tremendous amount of damage, so that casualty count totally makes sense, although we have a higher number of men than the enemy does. We must use that to our advantage as we go for Atlanta. Alright, Alright guys, there we go. Let's see the support here. So it looks like actually a lot of these places support the Confederacy. I'm going to see if there's anything I can do, especially habeas corpus. Unfortunately, we can only drop habeas corpus here, and because of habeas corpus, the Unionists are slightly above the Confederacy. And for a place like Georgia, you have to understand that's a huge deal. The Georgians are almost entirely pro-Confederate, but we're actually supporting them here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make sure to build this depot. I'm going to keep on moving with good old 15th Corps. Although, honestly, we could leave these guys here, build a depot. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same with these fellers here. And with McPherson, he's still going for Georgia. I mean, he's strong enough to make it the whole way, honestly. But let's go ahead and see. Full attack. I'm not giving him any resting time, which is kind of messed up because the whole reason that this guy got killed was because he was so obsessed with improving things. And actually, I'm going to stay here. This guy was at 1,000. He's now at 733. I want him to build that depot. And let's see if we can get some reinforcements, guys. We do have a little bit of money left, as well as some definite reinforcements. Probably college students that want to join the war effort, or maybe just good old boys that want to fight on the side of the Union. And we're going to end that turn. Let's hope for the best. Come on, boys. Oh, boy, we just got hit by a major Confederate force here at Depot. And pretty even, of course, kills on each end, but the enemy absolutely rode us out of here. That's not something we want to see, guys, especially since we were trying our absolute best to get a nice army going. So we already have a 35% penalty. We've got a 27% penalty, a 35% penalty here. I can see why this is happening. We're probably going to have to make a third general. Try to send some troops over there. At this point, it's honestly better to send troops over here to reduce the penalty than to keep them here and have a major penalty. Now, the scary thing is Johnson's gotten behind us, and if he manages to take our capital, then really serious problems could occur. Let's take one of these guys. Still 27% penalty, and we are still besieging Walker, Georgia, guys. So we have built the depot, so we're definitely getting some support, but I'm not sure it's enough. So with this Grierson Brigade, I'm moving to Hamilton, Tennessee, and it only takes us 4 days to walk there, but I want to see if I can actually get some rail support and make sure that I get there on time. One day, beautiful. Bring this guy down to Chattanooga. He's got no support, unfortunately, but we have a nice force of reserve cavalry here. This is why we keep the reserve behind. And I think they can get there by train one day. I really do want to start attacking, but I think I'm going to try to hold my cool, and we will attack Georgia's, or we'll attack Atlanta, the capital of Georgia, very soon. But for now, we're going to take it easy. So this guy is slowly improving. I'm going to move him here into Newport. It's going to take him 12 days, and he absolutely has to go on the offensive with no retreat, or very little retreat. Let's put it that way. And I'm still going to try to get a few more troops. Sorry, guys, I can't help myself. Even line infantry is going to help us. And we'll end the turn. Let's hope for the best, guys. Lincoln and Liberty. We want to beat the Confederates here. We want to beat the rebels. Come on, boys. You can do it. Oh, boy. We're getting hit hard here. And Johnson lost 123. We lost 633. But it was a Union victory. So that's a Pyrrhic victory if there ever was one. A Pyrrhic victory is essentially a victory where you lose a lot more men than the enemy. You maybe lose some points, but you technically win. Over here, it looks like Schofield had no problem wiping out the garrison at Newport. And I think that Newport is now ours, pro-American, pro-U.S. and not CSS. And a Union defeat here at Depot. Now, the good thing here is that, well, the bad thing is the enemy has 54,000 men, and we only have 36,000. The good thing is that we actually managed to kill a lot of their guys. But 707 at this point, I mean, it's just, it doesn't really mean anything. And let me promise you guys that the actual mini ball is such a devastating round. I mean, I can't express it enough. And the really cool thing is that my current boss at Slytherin Games has a mini ball trophy, a sort of mini ball that I think he purchased when he was in the U.S. And this thing is, you won't believe like how heavy it is. You can almost tell that if this thing was to hit your body, you would be so absolutely screwed. And I'm trying to keep things family friendly, so you would be in such trouble that I think that if you got hit, you know, in the center of your chest or the chest area in general, you really wouldn't have a chance. Now, this is a scary fact, and that is that the Confederate States of America have a general here, John B. Hood. And John B. Hood was the one man that was actually able to stand up to Sherman's assault. Of course, he didn't really actually technically win anything, but John B. Hood was able to stand up to the assault and hold Atlanta for a while. He actually asked I believe it's Johnson. Oh man, my history is way off right now. The Confederate president, if he could go ahead and basically hold the position, and he gave him the go-ahead. We're going to end the turn now, and we are going to head into Atlanta very soon. I know I've been waiting a little too long, but I want to wait until we take Walker, Georgia, before we move into Atlanta. I think we're going to be in a much better position. And of course, at the end of this video, we always look at the casualties. We want to see how many men were lost, etc. But give it time, my friends. Give it time. Alright, there we go. Are we still taking it yet? Come on now. Let's merge these guys together. 30% penalty. Yeah, well. Give him the hooker. 9% penalty. That's much better, actually. And Kilpatrick, if we give to either of these guys, they're going to do terribly. So we're still besieging the area. I'm going to keep Kilpatrick here, Irish general actually, and hope that he can take the place. And in the meantime, I'm going on a full-on attack of Georgia with George B. Hooker and General Sherman. I think we must take Georgia. It's that simple. And General Sherman actually heads this stack, so he knows what he's doing, as far as I can tell. We got the depot here. I'm going to keep that general there to muster up his forces. Although the terrifying thing is we have a general here, and we've got enemies attacking, and we don't have what we need to win this battle. So I think here with this general, well, he's got actually no sub-generals underneath him. Let's see if he can build anything. I don't think he can. So we're actually going to take Schofield, who we thought was going to be used to take Confederate land, and we're going to try to defend what we have. So we definitely have rail yards over here. 184 days, no, that ain't going to work. So let's go back to Newport. Let's go to Knox, 50 days. Come on, boys. I know you've got some sort of use of that damn train. Let's see if it can work. Could also build a supply depot. Let's take the train. 27 days. It actually is quite a long time, but we're going to take it. And I want to see if we can do any sort of defensive works here. Let's put some defensive works here just in case the enemy attacks. Martial law. I don't want to put martial law into action. That basically means that your government is in complete control of the citizenry. But I am tempted to do scorched earth here, just to make sure that the enemy understands that we're serious. And obviously Sherman would do scorched earth. And we also want to go ahead and just obliterate the enemy. So let's go for it, guys. Here we go. Forward attack with General Sherman. Alright, end of turn, guys. Very interesting. So now we're still in a position where we need to try and take Atlanta. I'm still going to go for Atlanta. Going for Atlanta. Keep this guy back. Maybe he can build a supply depot for us. Alright, so there's a supply depot up. 35% penalty. He's got to get rid of that penalty. And this guy's at a 25% penalty. Also not very good. I think at this point we're going to send these guys to attack the enemy. And at the very least take this area. And this guy's got a 30% penalty. I mean, we need some better generals, guys. It's that simple. Now, we could go into the general key and try to upgrade them, but as you can see, they're already part of an army group. So there's really not much we can do. We're certainly not going to attack Johnston over here in the Army of Tennessee, Catoosa, Georgia. That's crazy. However, even though we have the job of continuing the attack here, we're going to build a depot. And with 102 men, well, 102 men willing to fight, sorry, we might as well go ahead and add some units here. Now, we're actually being besieged at Decatur by the enemy. Sorry, guys. So, as you can see, we still have men willing to fight for the Union, which is beautiful. Let's get back to our regular view, although I do want to see the loyalty view. And as you can see, even here where we have done a terrible number of things, I mean, the people here are mostly Confederate, because we basically burned their homes down and taken everything from them, which is what Sherman wanted to do during the war. So let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens. Here we go. Here we go. Sherman on the attack in Atlanta, boys. And that's the Battle of Marietta. So actually this is Marietta, Georgia, but we're so close to Atlanta. We only lost 61 men and killed 2,250. That's unbelievable. And oh my goodness, we're fight with some rebels here. Even if we lose, this is a perfect place to fight, and it was a Union victory with General Schofield. We don't have anything of importance here. We lost 1,217 infantry, but we killed 2,577, and we killed 536 cavalry. I mean, that's really good. Really good shooting by Schofield. And we're still holding the area. Now at Kingston, we lost. Second part of Schofield's battle at Newport, only lost 522. The enemy lost 1,297. My God, guys. Unbelievable. And so we're actually winning here, and I'm going to go on a full-out assault. At this point, we're doing so well, I think we can. And let's see how Atlanta's doing. All right, Atlanta. Now, we did take Woodfield, Georgia. This is now our territory. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm moving into Atlanta. 5 days and 3 days. I'm so set on this option. Well, first of all, I'm going to keep these guys in defense. But I'm very tempted to move this guy up here, because that's where Johnston is. So let's go ahead and use the wonderful rail yard, if we can, to move them there quickly. 12 days. It's not great, but it's not horrible, guys. And for defense, or even a landmine if we're trying to take an area. So we're going to use the landmine. Now hold on. I'm going to use it in Atlanta, or excuse me, in Whitfield. I'm not sure if it's going to work in Atlanta, but I'm going to try it anyway. Anything that can help us in Atlanta is going to help us overall. Let's end the turn, boys. There's going to be some serious fighting this turn, I believe. Serious back and forth, bloodshed. If not, it's going to happen the next turn. Here we go. That's the first fight, Union victory, Battle of Newport. Very, very short skirmish, but Schofield's not dead yet. Let's keep going. Sherman is attacking, guys. Let's hope this is Atlanta. It is the Battle of Atlanta. We just killed... Oh, so they still have some men left. 2,516. We only lost 153. Sherman is incredible, and this proves it. We're going to keep on moving, of course, but Atlanta is definitely my goal. And you can see Johnson coming back just a little bit. Let's keep on moving to Atlanta. And I want to make sure that he has a no surrender order. In other words, he is going to go for Atlanta no matter what happens here. Also, guys, keep in mind, we are going to have the casualties at the end of this episode. We're absolutely going to show that. And if you like this series, support it in any way you can. If you're new, absolutely go ahead and join the channel. If you're not new, then help us out somehow. Share the video on social media. Do what you can. It helps tremendously. So I'm actually going to try to take these rebel encampments, Canossa, Georgia, and the woods here in Canossa, Georgia are so thick that it's probably going to take us 25 days to get there. Unbelievable. 35% penalty. I'm not worried about it. We're going to keep on moving through rebel territory, looking for a fight and taking land. Of course, Johnston is here besieging Meigs, Tennessee, but it's actually not a very important place to us. However, over here, I will try to build a depot. So if we can get Atlanta under our control, guys, that's a absolute victory here in Sherman's march through Georgia, and we would be victory. Look at that. Beautiful battle there at Banks, Georgia. And we took a few prisoners, 4 companies, about 100 men each, and killed 222 of the enemy here. Or 224? Wow, I'm actually getting okay at that. What the hell is wrong with me? Let's take a look here, guys. So Atlanta. Atlanta is under our control. This is incredible. So generally, once Atlanta is under my control, I'm done. In this case, I'm going to try to actually meet the enemy with these 2 forces and just try to absolutely smash them there in the center. I think you guys can see what I'm trying to do. I really do want to attack the enemy, so we are going to attack Hardee's Corps, even though they completely outnumber us, but I think it's important to put the enemy under pressure. Otherwise, we're going to look weak. The enemy's going to roll all over us. We're also going to attack, excuse me, sir, we're going to attack goddamn Newcomb, North Carolina. And by the way, shame on North Carolina for not supporting you. Support Abraham Lincoln, boys. Here we go. I'll make sure I don't want to drop anything else. Not really. Scorched Earth. We could use Scorched Earth, but I think right now it's probably better just to be cool, don't be mean to anybody, and try to get to the end of the turn. Let's end the turn. That's the charge. We kind of knew that wasn't going to work. That was almost our picked charge, but the casualties are fairly similar. Let's end the turn. See what else happens. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Win by victory points, guys. We won just barely by about 200 victory points. I'm absolutely going to show you guys the casualties. So, we lost 13,000 men. We took 4,900 Confederate prisoners, and we killed 20,000 of them, as well as holding every single one of the regional capitals, the Chattanooga and Atlanta capitals. I mean, Georgia's under our control. And of course, we actually did this fairly historically accurately, so make sure to hit that like button if that's what you're looking for. But we got a decent victory here. We could have gotten a major victory had we gone ahead and gone to combat with a few of these other units, but I think that's pretty good, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're new, and take a look at the other AGEODS videos we have. If there's something you want to see, let me know in the comments, and please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, etc. Do all that great stuff, and share if you're a great person. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and glory to Abraham Lincoln.